as Camera Conspiracies travels deep into the jungle to find the perfect scene for his video to help 5 lowly photographers save themselves from their parents' advice. He realizes that he should have filmed that on a Pocket 3 or something, not just his phone strapped to his backpack clip because it's tilted. But still, photographers could be helped by me.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So we have a very interesting episode today. Right now we are on the Canon 85mm 1.2. Someone's running into my shot at any second now. That should be interesting. I wonder if she'll come in. I don't even mind it. I hope she does. Sony a7S III adapted. Yes. Adapted 85mm 1.2. We have a purchase announcement. I just pounced pretty hard on a Zeiss 85mm Planar 1.4 for the Nikon. We will be comparing a little 3D pop element surprise, and the Nikon 85mm 1.8G lens is also with us. Was that your question? No, I can't stop down on this. I would have, but you can't. So there's no autofocus, there's no nothing. I didn't focus on that. You're crazy to think I would do that. Off topic here, but question. Best camera for slow-mo. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh my God, I was wearing sandals like a noob. You know how many comments I get from, you've never heard of earthing? You just get energy from the earth by touching it with the ground. Do photographers know nothing of our world? Ow, this is painful. Best camera for slow-mo. You didn't say what budget. So like, obviously the best is like those phantom cams, but that's not realistic. The second tier really is the Freefly Ember. That thing is fantastic, but it's a dedicated slow-mo cam and it's not very versatile. You have to rig it up. There's no like monitor, so you're getting like V-mount battery on the back, freaking monitor. And then it's a locking E-mount, which I still don't understand. None of your lenses are going to work that are like electronically. So like, no, I could not use my 200 to 600. The manual focus wouldn't work. No autofocus, no stabe, no nothing. So it's like you're using cinema glass. I could get by with my Voigtlander 35mm 1.2. Side note, I did just buy another Voigtlander. It's coming. It is coming for the Sony 21mm 1.4. I had to pounce and I did pounce. Ow. So it's like, those are cool. And the Chronos 4K 12 or something, these things are doing like 1,000 frames per second. Super exciting, but they're still like $20,000. Like, they're very expensive. That's why I love a good mirrorless camera that also does good slow-mo. So still, in my opinion, Sony a7S III is the king. Now there's a family cycling up to me. This is like the most remote hill on earth, and they're coming hard. Let's see if they cycle into my shot. I hope they do. So it's like, Sony a7S III has the HD 240. You cannot beat that thing for the full frame magic and autofocus. Oh, they stopped. Come on, come into the shot. It's a family. And so Sony, Fuji's really good. They were. The XS20 and the XT4 had good HD 240, boom. Panasonic is really good, HD 300 frames, but it's manual focus only, and that just limits you so hard to what you can use that for. Like, I love the street videography where I'm just pointing it at people. You can't do that. You have to stop it way down and then guess where they might be. It'll never look magical. Whereas Sony, you can have like 1.2 glass autofocusing on their eye as you walk by. It's like incredible. Sony's the king right now. Hopefully someone will be better one day. That'd be amazing. But right now, no. Okay, let's switch to the Nikon 85mm 1.8G lens to see if we lose the magic pop. I don't even want to sell this lens. I'm trying to sell it and I've got a couple offers. I'm like, no, I'm not selling this. I should just get a proper adapter so I can stop this down and then we're done. This is my favorite lens ever made. The G lens, not so good, is it? Ow. 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 It's good for you, trust me. Earthing. Look it up, noobs. Now, since I can autofocus, I might as well try it, although I feel like that's a bad decision waiting to happen. Nikon G lens. Hopefully it gets me. I've changed some things. Full screen autofocus. That subject detect only mode is off. because it will just never recognize you, but face detect is on. So are we seeing it? I don't know where I stand on this lens. It's like, it's sharp, it's nice, it's cheap, it fits my budget recommendations for you hobos, but I'm not sure I'm seeing the pop on it, so I don't think there is any, and I'm just gonna live with that. Mr. Stern, got a question for you, and I'll cut to the chase. Channel related, not gear. Would you suggest for YouTubers to have multi-channels for different types of content? Example, vlogging channel, MMA channel, wildlife. Thank you for the endless pleasure spreading. I try. So my advice, as someone who has 2 pretty successful channels and 2 that flopped hard, I just lost interest in my MMA channel because men fist fighting each other is something for like hobos to talk about and judge. I hate people who judge. Little media reporters, oh, he should have done this, like you didn't do it. And my music channel, I just post music videos on this channel or Vegetable Police, and there that is. So as someone with 2 channels, I find there's a pro and con to it. If you have just 1 channel, you can dedicate your whole life and become so specialized in that. That's the thing with our Earth. It's like, do you want to become super skilled in one area? And you dedicate everything and you become a prodigy at one thing, and that's how masters are born. Or you do a little dibble dabble, you taste the dishes of life, and it's like, I feel like I need the sanity of switching up topics. So like, I have my health channel, we talk about diet, fitness, all that stuff, and that's fun. But there's a lot of times I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about something way less serious and just tech and camera gear and 3D pop, and oh my god, my audience is so sick of 3D pop. You don't even know what you're missing. So just for sanity's sake, I find it's nice to have a couple different areas to talk about. When you're bored of one, you talk about the other, then you talk about that for a while, then it's like, okay, actually I got a new idea for this channel. So yeah, it's cool to have 2. It's just a lot more work, and it's a lot of how you're gonna come up with the content for 2 channels. It's harder than it sounds, but definitely do not have the one channel that does everything that is so different. I used to do that. On Vegetable Police, I was doing camera gear reviews. I was talking about UFC fights sometimes. It was just so random. It was just, in my opinion, I was making videos, whatever I could to go viral. I don't care about, hopefully get lots of views. Now I don't care about that. I've established myself. I'm happy with the kind of videos I make, and I just want to help people get healthier on that channel. And for this one, I'm not really sure what my purpose is. Just to help you save money. You do not need the super expensive gear. Let's switch to a much more expensive. Not yet, hobo. You're not ready for it. So yeah, definitely split. If it's just like a health and fitness channel, okay, those are very close together, similar topics. They marry each other. But if it's like health and camera gear, it's like, oh wow, like your audience that you build up for health is not going to care about the camera stuff. So I could do a lot of like phone reviews. Companies send me scooters for some reason. I have no idea why. So I review them on this channel, and I'm like, I don't know why my audience is never going to buy one of your scooters, but whatever, man, I'll take a free scooter. You know I will. I got one on the way, another one. It's going to be fantastic. Can't wait to review it, and all of you going to buy it, right? You're not? Okay, before we switch to the Zeiss Planar, let's stop this lens down. That's what I want to do. And then I'm going to switch to the Zeiss wide open, and then we stop that one down for the final question. And then there's like 5 different comparisons right there. Ah, the paint. I'm just going to assume that it has me. A couple walked past me, and it grabbed the back of their head. So I know it's capable of doing that. We're at 5.6 now. What people don't understand is micro contrast increases as you stop it down. It has nothing to do with the background blur. The 3D pop, when I say your bullshit lens does not have any 3D pop, and you say, look, my background's blurry, go to sleep because you're drunk. When I filmed that Voigtlander video, that was 5.6, but look at the depth of that scene. You can walk into it, you feel like you're there. And then like I'm popping, but I'm not at all blurred from the background. Background blur is just two separate planes of existence. Your subject and then the background that is blurry, that we wish we could have saw. And then you stop it down with a nice lens, and then you get this separation that I feel like we're not seeing on this lens. This is the G lens at 5.6. I'm totally selling this. It's not even close to funny. Hi Casey, you look good on that ZV-E10. Don't sicken me. P.S. Gerald Undone made a video about a camera company, Lumix S9, and in my opinion only Sony and Fuji are only two companies that really listen to their reviewers and fans. Your thoughts? That's a hard disagree on that one. Oh, we got another contestant on the cycling through my shot. Will he do it? I will allow it. I want him to do it. Just don't knock over the tripod.
Sorry if I'm interrupting.
It's fine, man. You're part of the show. Good times. So, who listens? I think, honestly, Sony is quite good at listening to their customers. Listen to the A7S III update that we got from the A7S II. It's like, holy shit, they literally did everything we were complaining about. And it's like, not bad. Canon? I don't know about that one. I see them as panic-stricken in a panic room, and they're guarding what they have, and they don't want anybody to have it. We're talking about their cinema cams and protecting them at all cost. Do never buy one of our mirrorless cameras for video, because this is what we sell for. So like their C400, that's not even great. A7S III is better in many ways. Many ways. Full frame 4K 120, HD 240. You don't even have that. It's like, okay, I get your little cinema codecs, but give me a break. But as for other companies who listen, I don't know that any of them really do. It's always perplexing when camera companies release new things, and I'm just like, what the hell? Like, we were complaining about everything here, and you didn't fix any one of those things. Like, Fuji right now is having an autofocus debacle that's just, what the hell was that? Oh man, that was like a groundhog or something. A mammal. That was interesting. So like, Fuji, for some reason, has gotten worse and worse over the years. Every autofocus update somehow makes it completely worse, and it's now almost broken to the point where you see all the rumor sites and new firmware adds Real Ace profile, and they're like, what about the autofocus? Why aren't you fixed? I don't get it. Fuji they're so bad at autofocus algorithms. I don't get it. So far, I'm not really seeing Fuji listen to us. Panasonic, you want to think they do, but like, how long were we asking for phase detect autofocus? Like a really long time. And they listened 10 years later. And it's like, okay, we've all moved on. And like, they're still really trying to play catch up here, and it's not happening. I don't know that any company actually listens. Like Sony, I say they listen, but they're interviewing like TikTok vloggers, and all their vlogging cams are just so abysmal for an actual YouTube content producer. It's just like, they're not giving me anything I want, and they're dumbing down everything. And Canon's doing the same thing. Does anyone listen? Olympus doesn't even know that video can be shot with their cameras. Nobody's really listening. The real problem is, I go through the same thing these camera companies go through. YouTube comment section. If I ask you guys for advice on something, like what lens should I get, or which system's better, the advice is so sporadic and different. How could anybody weed through that and know, like, I don't know, he said Panasonic's better, but he said Canon's way better than Panasonic. It's just such confusing. So like, I imagine they're listening to us and we're all asking for different things. That's a bitch. That's a real bitch. So they probably get that all the time. They're getting all these suggestions, and like, does anybody really need that though? And they don't know what to even put in their camera. So I don't blame them for ignoring all of us. Let us now switch to the Zeiss. Was this a stupid purchase decision? Are you seeing it? Are you seeing the pop factor? We're wide open right now, but come on now, Zeiss, I haven't even tried this lens yet. I'm excited, and also just what a stupid decision that was. Like, I should have just bought a Canon EF to Z mount adapter and used my 85mm 1.2. I bet you it's just as good. It could be. we'll stop it down for the final question. Are bridge cameras crap? Yeah, a little bit. It depends what your goal is. I mean, do you want to ride out here in nature and get some bird footage that looks somewhat decent and sharp? And you have just like one little thing that, oh, I can take a picture of this landscape, cool. And then, oh wow, 600 mil, 800, wow, look at that. Very versatile. In daylight, it'll look pretty decent. It's just, it suffers in low light and it suffers in filmic love. It doesn't have that magic look. You're not gonna get, maybe if you're fantastic at color grading and you're creative and it's like, oh look, see, I added all these film sims and okay, maybe you get something, but usually you can tell pretty immediately the lower quality cameras just don't look as nice. It's like the smaller the sensor, the worse the look. And yeah, that versus super huge and heavy. But like really, if you got a Fuji XS20 with the 70-300, it's a bit pricier than a bridge cam, okay, but you're gonna get a much better image for the same, if not less weight, like very close in the ballpark. But bridge cams, they collapse down. But I bought one years ago, the Canon SX50. I was like, this thing's fantastic. Like, why wouldn't you get that? I wanted super long reach, and the little point and shoots are okay, but this nice big lens is better quality, and it was good. I got a lot of shots where I was like pretty impressed with that thing, and it's good enough for most people, yes. But there's levels to this game, and you're gonna get bored with that type of footage eventually, I think. At least I am. In the pursuit of perfection, it's like I see footage from that, I'm like, I would never buy that now. But like a starting off point, bridge cam, why not? Sony RX10 Mark IV, pretty good. Even the Canon SX, I think the 50 was better than the 60 and the 70. Don't quote me on that, but like the lens was good. Sharp at like the longest distance, whereas it got worse. But that is our industry, my friend, just getting worse and worse. They're just pretending that they're inventing new things when we all know we had electric scooters back in the 20s and all kinds of great technology. Our buildings were amazing architectural feats of ingenuity. And it's like, yeah, we were better then. So we clearly found this camera technology in a cave somewhere and we don't know how to improve it. We're monkeys trying to reverse engineer stuff. So it is sad. Let us now stop down the lens for increased micro contrast abilities. Okay, now we should be seeing the pinnacle of creation here. We stopped it down, it should be sharper. There should be no ego. I'm not trying to blur out that White House sticking out of my head. Come on, that's a shot. All right, last question here, and we have last contestants of the show of will I walk into his shot? Casey, I think I missed the reason you're manually focusing on wildlife. It is because manual focus is more fun to do, or do you find Sony Animal Eye Detect unreliable? Well, we don't even have it. It's not even in my flagship video camera, not even in there. You have to go to the ZV-1 to get that. Yeah, come on. And detect, or could it be that twigs and whatnot is messing with the autofocus? Could be that. Could be that. Hello. Sorry for being in your way.
Oh no, that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Hello. My focus point. Oh no, where do I stand with the swing? Here or here? Here or here is in focus. You tell me. Should be 5.6. Everything should be in. So here's the deal. Autofocus will lose your animal at some point. I don't care what system you're in. If you have a box around your animal and it's animal eye detect, eventually it's just gonna jump and leap. Fuji's the worst at it. I haven't really seen Nikon do it good either. Sometimes if it's very clear, it'll work. Same with Canon. It's like, I've seen it track the box and it's like, oh, cool. I've seen Panasonic do it. Like sometimes it works. Most times you're gonna get a better shot if you manually focus. It's somewhat annoying what is on me. Most of the times when I see a bird, it's like between twigs, like you said, and yeah, then it's like, okay, it doesn't matter what settings you have. Eventually you're gonna have to manually focus override, and that's not a bad thing. So that's what I prefer. It's just getting to that spot sometimes is annoying. Like Fuji, for some reason their lenses are like such long focus throw That's why the back button focus works sometimes, but it didn't always get it. So like that's the problem. It's like, oh my God, it's acquiring that initial bird can be annoying. Whereas in Sony, it's very sensitive, if almost too sensitive. It's like, come on, Panasonic lets you tweak it. That's kind of nice, but none of them are perfect. No setting is great for Penny Boy, so I don't know, it's just a pain in the bitch. It's just something you gotta live with. The manual focus is the best idea, and you're gonna get your shot or miss it completely. But like that's the real magic when you're there and then you feel connected. It's like, I'm doing this. Instead of like worrying that your autofocus is gonna jump, because it will. So here I am always complaining about not having animal eye detect. Yeah, it would be nice to have and it be super reliable, but there's always gonna be a situation where the animal's in between twigs and you just have to switch into manual focus, and some companies do that better than others. Like Canon's the worst I've ever seen, where you have to like hold a button and then manually focus, and then let go once you're done. Like this is the dumbest thing ever. Whereas Nikon, you just start manually focusing and then it locks, and then you have to back button focus to reacquire the focus. It's kind of awkward. Sony, I think you can just do the ring now, but I just have a button, press it, boom, manual focus, and then my peaking button now, because of the new firmware, they agree that was a bad firmware. So who won the battle today, my friend? We started off with the Canon 85mm 1.2 wide open, unfortunately, because I cannot stop it down. Then we switched into a wide open Nikon 85mm 1.8. Not bad. It's not bad. It's not even close. Some might say it's sharper. I bet it does look sharper, but Canon just has a special look that I really appreciate. Then the Zeiss wide open. Huh? So like we're all going wide open here. Boom shellac. Is the Zeiss better than the Canon? That's the real question, because if it's better than the Canon, I would have to think that I will sell that Canon lens and then we're good to go on this. Then boom, you can adapt that lens to pretty much anything. I'll get a Nikon F to Sony E-mount adapter. Imagine that pop. And then the two that were stopped down. This, 5.6 versus 5.6 on the 85G lens. Are you seeing, oh my God, something touched me. Is it better pop? Zeiss pop? Come on, it has to be, right? They're both fairly cheap. This was $750 Canadian. Used. It's an okay deal. I paid $250 for the G-Boy. That's a bitch. This is way more money, so that's a bad message to tell the youth. Don't borrow laundry money from your mother's cabinet. So right now I'm gonna go find another location to film a little vegetable police video on, probably with this lens, find a new scene, and then I move on, maybe make 2 videos, and that's what I do here. I ride out to fun locations sometimes, or I vlog there on my way, or I stay at home in the winter. It's fun times. I love what I do. Thank you all so much for the support and the Bitcoin donations. I'll leave. You subscribing for more? Did I say that? Ow. The cinema was ours. Ow. Look up grounding. It's a thing. It's a painful thing. But it's real.